girl winks at cop every morning. Then he uncovers the sinister secrets lurking within. It was in one of the most troubled neighborhoods of Kansas City, a place where violence and despair seemed to permeate the air, that a young girl named Klynn lived with her two younger brothers and their single mother. For Klynn, the only glimmer of hope in her otherwise bleak existence was the daily ritual of waving to a kind police officer who patrolled the streets. Every morning without fail, Klynn would sit by the window, eagerly anticipating the arrival of the officer. His crisp uniform and steady stride were a comforting presence in her life. The officer and the little formed an unlikely bond, exchanging warm smiles and waves through the glass, a silent acknowledgement of the connection that had blossomed between them. For Klynn, this simple gesture was a reminder that there was still goodness in the world, even amidst the darkness that surrounded her. Klynn's life was far from easy. She lived with her two younger brothers and their single mother, who was often absent, consumed by her own personal struggles with drugs. Hunger and neglect became constant companions, and Klynn found herself forced to make desperate decisions, even resorting to theft to ensure her brothers had food. It was during one of these trying times that the kind officer noticed the little girl's absence from her usual waving post by the window. Overcome with a sense of unease, Officer Jeff approached the family's door and gently knocked, calling out to the young girl. But when no one answered, Jeff knew he had to act. Carefully pushing the door open, Jeff was met with a heartbreaking sight. Klynn lay on the floor, her breathing labored, her brothers huddled beside her in fear. Without hesitation, the officer scooped up the young girl and rushed her to the hospital, where she was diagnosed with severe malnutrition. In the days that followed, Jeff became a constant presence in Klynn's life, visiting the family regularly and ensuring they had the support and resources they needed. He had taken on the role of a guardian angel, a steadfast ally, in the face of the family's seemingly daunting challenges. But fate, however, had other plans. Klynn and her brothers were forced to relocate, and Jeff lost touch with them. As he neared retirement after 2 decades of service, the memory of the girl who had waved from the window never left him. He often wondered what had become of her, whether she had managed to overcome the challenges that had threatened to consume her. Little did Jeff know, Klynn had never forgotten him either. In the years that followed, she made it her mission to find the kind officer who saved her life. She combed through databases and scoured social media, determined to track down her guardian angel. And just as Jeff was about to leave the force, an investigator named Jennifer arrived with news that would leave the seasoned officer reeling. Standing before him, radiant with confidence and strength, was the very girl he had once rescued. Klynn, now a young woman, threw her arms around him, tears streaming down her face. In that moment, Jeff realized the profound impact his actions had on her life, and the realization left him deeply moved. As Klynn shared her story, Jeff learned that his simple act of kindness had inspired her to follow in his footsteps, becoming a police officer herself in the city of Houston. On her uniform, a name bracelet bearing the name Jeff and the words "Real Hero" served as a constant reminder of the man who had saved her and set her on a path of purpose. As the two reconnected, their bond deeper than ever, they knew that the cycle of good they had begun that fateful day would continue to ripple outward, inspiring others to reach out and make a difference. For Klynn and Jeff, their story was not just about one life saved, but about the profound impact that one person can have on the world.